Hey, another match in the CiC Qualifiers. I've been sick for a little while, so I haven't cast anything for a bit, and nobody probably cares all that much, but that's why I haven't uploaded anything for a bit. But anyway, we've got bans here so far: Rhapsody, Sir Bensington, Balfagor, and Kronos being taken out. Notable that Team Excellent over here on the Legion side versus Moe's Tavern, aka Suit Trudgeth, something Swedish, I'm sure. But this is a Hellborn team that you should probably have heard of. I think they've done pretty well so far, but Penguin is the guy to know. He played for Sweet Super Sirs, I believe, in the last Season 2 of Han Tour. Good player. And I think Drogon and maybe Prodam have done some stuff before as well, but I'm not entirely sure. But Penguin's the name I recognize, and definitely a guy to keep your eye on, because we've seen some pretty impressive stuff from him. But obviously going up against Team Excellent here, a bit of a challenge, as this is one of the better teams in Han, and therefore they're going to have their work cut out for them. But off to a pretty good start, as they remove both of the really strong suicide options in Bensington and Kronos, two heroes that we see get banned out a lot. Bensington, I'm not convinced anymore of his viability. He hasn't had the greatest win rate, but the team's still feeling like, yeah, that's a hero we don't want to deal with. Kronos certainly deserves that ban. Rhapsody and Balfagor are getting taken out by Pew. Rhapsody makes a ton of sense. Balfagor, perhaps less so. I don't know if the Hellborn side are notorious for running that hero, but definitely not a hero we see often, and not really a hero we see have a huge impact either. But Pew has finished with his first 3 picks, picking up Ophelia, Torture, and Puppet Master. So presumably as he knocks on that Puppet, Pew on the Oath, and Torture in the hands of Fine, as he is their support player. A good start, really, in general, as Ophelia is obviously one of the better jungle players. I love the jungle strat. Torture is one of the best supports in the game right now, and Puppet Master is one of the best carries that gets banned out very frequently. So picking him up with your 3rd overall pick, really impressive. Drogon, on the other hand, going for a bit of a less traditional draft, the Madman into Gauntlet and Master of Arms. All strong heroes, but not quite on the tier I think that the Legion's picks are, and therefore starting at a bit of another disadvantage, really. So you already have a skill difference, and now I think the draft has gone substantially in favor of Excellent so far. Obviously, Excellent has the push. They've got strong team fight, very, very strong gank potential. Meanwhile, the Hellborn side has good gank potential, and that's about it. The team fight's not really there. The push isn't really there, and so we'll see how they do. They do have some late game with Madman, but I assume that's going to be run in a suicide role, which sort of mitigates his ability to go into the late game a bit. And obviously that's not the greatest thing in the world, especially because Puppet Master can absolutely take off. So we'll see how the guys on the Hellborn do, but I'm not feeling particularly optimistic at this point. Not just because they're going up against Excellent, but also because I'm not a big fan of their draft in general. Legion side will ban out Nymphora, Moon Queen, and Empath, so assuming that they're looking for a second support here and taking out 2 popular ones in Empath and Nymphora. Of course, Rhapsody already being banned and Torture being picked up by them, so their second support options are going to be somewhat limited. Still have Engineer on the board, Myrmidon, hey, if they want to go crazy, Pyromancer, Illuna. I really hope they don't pick Illuna, because Illuna's goddamn terrible, but Pyromancer could be a good selection here. Polywog Priest, love that hero. I think he deserves more. But anyway, also banning out the Moon Queen, assuming that the Hellborn side are looking for a short laner in some capacity, so getting rid of the hard carry option and the very dangerous Moon Queen. Makes a ton of sense there, so Pew's ban's right on the money. Hellborn removing Wretched Hag, Drunken Master, and Kraken, 3 extremely versatile heroes that can all be played in any of the 3 lanes, so makes a ton of sense to get rid of all of them, especially because Legion side doesn't really have a mid, didn't have a suicide, so removing 2 or 3 heroes really that can play that suicide or initiator role, as presumably Puppet Master will be playing in the short lane, but we do see a lot of him in mid, so it wouldn't be out of the question really to see a Puppet Master Torturer mid, or even a Puppet Master solo mid, depending on what the Hellborn's last couple of picks are, especially if it looks like they're running tri-lane. I don't think that's a great idea right now, just because Gauntlet is almost certainly going to be a dual lane. And Puppet Master Torturer wouldn't be the greatest mid, especially when you have the Devourer, so I'm expecting to see Devourer Torturer middle, Puppet Master in the solo bot against Madman, and Gauntlet with something else in the mid. I think the Engineer does make a lot of sense, so I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. Dampier will be their 4th pick, so not bad, I guess. Gives them that short lane option, gives them the carry option, and with no jungler, they will be able to stack the woods consistently and hopefully allow that Dampier to take off. But the question is really, is he going to be able to take off enough to deal with Puppet Master? They're similar heroes in that they both scale well late game, they both farm extremely well, they have good laning presence. Puppet Master perhaps a little bit more so with Whiplash and the 2 CC tools. But, okay, that's interesting. But obviously both heroes that are gank-oriented but can carry a late game. And very similar in that regard. Bloodhunter, going to be the 4th, 5th pick here for xCet. That's curious. Not sure if they're going to choose Suicide here or if they're going to run a dual lane. I now expect, actually, to see either the Suicide Bloodhunter or the Bloodhunter mid. And if they run the Bloodhunter mid, it's going to be, I think, a Devo Torture in the long lane. So we'll see what they choose to do, but Puppet Master almost certainly be in the solo short now with Ophelia in the woods. And I wouldn't mind seeing the Bloodhunter Suicide. I think that can definitely be a viable build with the Feast and the Silence. It's very possible he could do just fine in that Suicide role, and considering Strayfooter is on the hero right now, although we have plenty of time before the game starts, so that could still be swapped around, but he is their Suicide player, so that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Blitz.
And Blitz is going to be the 5th pick for the Hellborn side, so support a hero that Stay Green really popularized after a lot of people were like, this is the worst hero in the game. They said, well, you know what, actually, he can do a crap ton of damage, and turned him into a viable hero. Very, very gank-oriented, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him or Master in the middle. I think they can both work very well with the Gauntlet. And the other one will be a solid enough babysit role. I think I'd probably put Blitz with Damp up top and have Master Gauntlet middle, just because the pilfering from Blitz gives him a much better harassment tool. And Master of Arms 2 nukes will help out a lot with Gauntlet in terms of bursting down heroes and trying to grab kills in that middle lane. So Hellborn has, I think, rather predictable lanes, looking to run a 2-2-1 strat here compared to the Legion's slightly less obvious situation. Now, part of that is because the Hellborn's lanes are in some ways stronger in that they don't lack a true Suicide. Oh, god damn it. Sorry, I have to recompactize, so I'm going to be right back, and yeah. Alright, so back. Sorry about that. Had some issues, patched to the new version of Han, and then, as tends to happen, sometimes the compatibility of the previous versions doesn't work, and since this match is like 3 weeks old now, it's a whole thing. Anyway. We're in the game. We've got Nox on Puppet, so he's heading bot. I expect that to be his lane. Bloodhunter could very well be heading mid here, as it looks like KGE is going top, so I seriously doubt we're going to see a true Suicide Devourer, although I suppose that's possible, especially because KGE has, I believe, played the Suicide role for xCet a little bit, depending on whether or not they had their typical 5-man roster or not, but Strayfooter should be their usual Suicide player, so I suspect that we're going to actually see a dual lane top, and it will be Torture headed up there. Maybe not, actually. We got Puppet in the middle and Strayfooter in the bottom lane. Okay, so this is going to be a dual mid. And we're going to see a true Suicide Devourer. It's pretty interesting. Especially because I do expect to see a dual lane top with Blitz. So I'm not expecting KGE to have the greatest time up here against that dual lane. Or even a tri-lane, as might be the case. Okay, if this is a tri-lane, he's totally screwed. Now they're rotating fine up here top, and so they might see that coming. Nope, he's just warding. Yeah, they shouldn't expect a tri-lane. And I didn't either, and yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. It shouldn't happen. Yeah, Master's heading back middle, so lanes are going to be on the Hellborn side pretty much exactly as I called them, and they make a ton of sense, of course. Blitz going to be able to zone out this not even Dampier, the Devourer, very effectively. And Damp should have pretty much free farm here. So that should go in favor of the Hellborn side. Meanwhile, in this middle lane, we've got Puppet and Torture in a lane that is reasonably strong, and they might be able to pick up a kill here just because their CC is so impressive. On the other hand, their burst is not nearly as good as the Hellborn's. So they're going to have to avoid that, and with between the two of them, they should be able to do a pretty solid job of that. They obviously both have ways to sort of stun, Torture has an actual stun, and the Puppet Show from Puppet Master will, in many ways, do similar things. So we'll see who comes out on top here, but should be a relatively even lane on the bottom. Bloodhunter no doubt has the advantage here, as he is one of the strongest laners in the game, and he has the short lane as well. So I fully expect to see Stroifer to win this lane here over Penguin, even though, as I said before, he is one of the better players in the unknown scene, I guess. And so we'll see how the two of them do down here, but I expect most of the action to be centered in middle lane, simply because we've got a gauntlet, and this is the dual lane. Puppet Show going down here onto Master of Arms, followed by chain reaction, so they're putting some damage here, but a lot of uphill miss. So perhaps if Master doesn't get so lucky there, they continue and try to go for a kill there, although I don't think they have the damage to get it. 2-minute rune here will be picked up top by Torture. It is a double damage. And we'll see what use they can make of that. Looks like we have a rotation here from Blitz, as they're choosing not to try to box out this dev, which doesn't make any sense to me. In fact, meanwhile, in the middle lane, Puppet Master will go down to the Bloodlust as the roam from Blitz is successful. One more auto attacks, and actually if that uphill didn't miss, then Gauntlet might have died there. Regardless, Nox does fall early on, so the roam from Blitz is effective. I really would prefer him to basically just stay up here, continually stack the camps, and that's what he's doing right now, but he hasn't done any of it so far. No, this one. But 3 minutes in, he should have essentially 3 camps stacked instead of 2. Regardless, his main job here should absolutely be to box out this Devourer. And KG, you're getting 220 gold per minute on a Suicide Devourer, so not really the lack of farm that he should be having, especially considering that Damp's at 267 GPM, so I don't know, man. Blitz off to the side, apparently feeling like he can't engage on this. I don't really know why. If Dev goes on him, he can probably get away with the Quicken. He doesn't have Quicken, but anyway. There's the stun. Yeah, I mean, he's got a stun, he's got the Pilfering. He shouldn't die to Devourer here, even if he were to go harassed, despite the level disadvantage. So I feel like Blitz needs to be doing a little bit more in terms of aggression to try to make sure this Damp here has just total free farm and Devourer's getting shut down, which isn't really happening. Back to the middle lane, we got Puppet here at 15-1 compared to Gauntlet at 12-2. So Puppet winning the CS battle, although Gauntlet, and actually Gauntlet's lower on GPM as well, because the Bloodlust they've got a Master of Arms hook they're going to miss. So bottle picked up by Gauntlet here, and obviously going to keep his mana up and getting it a little more aggressive as a result. Dev has an Invis rune, and he's rotating here. This should be a kill on somebody. There's a hook and a Gauntlet, and the chain reactions and the Puppet Show go down at the same time. That's going to be an easy kill. Minotaur is here as well, so perhaps going to look for another pick. Not going to happen. Blitz also rotating over, of course. So 4 heroes collapse there on middle lane, and they pick off the Gauntlet. And Rev Ward going down there from Pew helping out to do some countering. KG just wandering around, looking for a hook here. Actually gets hooked in by Gauntlet there and onto the tower. He could be in some trouble here as he's taking a bunch of damage. Puppet Show goes down there. A few more auto attacks will finish off KG, but not enough. Chain reactions also miss. So he gets the hook baited out there, but not the greatest thing in the world, as he has to pop a health pot now. Still looking for initiation. They're not going to find it. Obviously this ward here is the Hellborn, so has no vision up that hill, just going for a blind hook, and will in fact head back top. So Damp here getting some free farm here, up to 320 gold per minute, and is now the second highest farm rate in the game, just behind Bloodhunter in the bottom lane. And no surprise really that Bloodhunter's winning this lane 36-10 compared to Madman at 13-1. Puppet Show going down here onto Gauntlet. We'll see if they actually follow this up. They do. Chain reactions is there as well. KG coming back in, looking for a hook. Probably not going to find it. Angle isn't really there. And he will head back top. Still level 5. Picks up the refreshment room. Maybe he won't head back top. Nope, yeah, he will. He's not really... Seems like he's not really sure. I'm not sure what Blitz is doing in the meantime. He is stacking the jungle a lot, which is great. I mean, that's exactly what he needs to be doing, but he's just hiding in the woods. That's all he's doing. I mean, there's... Once a minute, you need to go stack the woods. You don't need to be in the jungle the entire time. And I don't know if he's just afraid that this middle lane is going to be too aggressive for the Hellborn side, or he thinks that the Legion are too aggressive on the Legion's part, or if he thinks that his teammates can get a bunch of kills if he's there, which I don't think is wrong, but they're not initiating. So they have to either decide if they want Blitz to be there and they want to try to get a kill, or if they don't want to do that. He can't just sit there this entire game. He will go back, and actually on the bottom lane we do see a kill, and I completely missed it. Hemorrhage goes out there from Bloodhunter, and on top of the silence, pretty much nothing Madman can do here as Ophelia flanks. And an easy pickup on the kill onto Madman. So far, Legion side enjoying gold and experience advantage at 2k on both. And look at the GPM charts here, obviously Bloodhunter way high up there, and then Dampier, and then Puppet Master, and pretty much nobody else is farming very well. 200 gold per minute on Gauntlet here, who's really having a bit more of a suffer time in this mid lane than he should. Just getting that D ward before it dies. Top lane Torture has rotated, drops a ward of sight. Perhaps trying to shut down this Dampier's farm a little bit, and I certainly can understand that desire. He is really the only one on the Hellborn side that's doing well at all, so if Excellent can start to push him down the hill a little bit, and that would help them out a lot. Lightbrand picked up at only 8 minutes in, so his farm obviously doing very, very well, going straight for that Grimoire of Power, and absolutely the correct item, especially considering the Legion side has so much late game. He needs to get as fat as possible, as quick as possible. At least, you know, there's that, and there's the argument that, hey, just get a portal key or something like that and start picking people off because you can't take this late. It's just, it seems unlikely that you're going to out-farm them, which is certainly a decent enough argument, and I can see both sides of it. Illusion's Devourer going all over the place, and the real one hanging out here on the ledge. Nice hook attempt, but not gonna hit. And this creep just like, yeah, okay. Yes, the Pro League playoffs are going on right now. So that's how, and we're in the qualifiers for, this is a qualifier match and they're doing the playoffs right now. So yes, I understand that this is not a recent match, but hey, screw it. I want to cast every single one of these matches in the qualifier event because I feel like these teams deserve some recognition. It's always good. D-ward immediately going to get de-warded. As they already had a ward of Rev there. Devour still looking for a hook. Not quite going to find one. And he's really spending a lot of time trying to gank here and not farming. 180 gold per minute, and he's doing pretty well in the top lane too. Ancients are double stacked, and perhaps that's too much. So Dev will not look to go after them. He doesn't really need to be super active, you know, with the farm. Pew's not farming particularly well in the Ophelia, but we got both Nox and Stroyfoot are doing quite well in terms of GPM. And the only one on the Hellborn side doing well at all, of course, is that Dampier. So Super KG does not necessarily need to be super active in terms of his farm. He can definitely roam, but I don't know. It does seem a little silly to just leave this top lane alone for so long. He's been doing it continuously, and that's really helping Dampier. As he gains lane control back here, he will head up and grab some CS. Perhaps try to contest this lane once again. Dampier is level 9. Hook there on Gauntlet, not gonna hit. Puppet Show goes down onto him though, and we're gonna try to see a turn here, but we've got Penguin on the Madman is coming in, and Gauntlet Boss will finish off Torture despite being actually But the Puppet Show, or Puppet Ultimate finished off Gauntlet as well, so that's going to be 1-for-1 in favor of the Legion side, especially because it took Madman coming in. As well as Blitz trying to get that kill on Torturer. Bot tower goes down in the meantime, and Ophelia will continue to push. Top lane Super K, okay. Some stuff. Super K, Genie jumped up top here, and will go down to the consume from Dampier. Devourer and Dampier. It's awfully confusing. Nox has rotated top in the meanwhile. And bot tower are going to continue to get heavily pressured. This is probably going to be a tower kill. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a tower kill.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
So, Pew loses his Vulture Lord there, but not the biggest of deals. And 5k gold, 1.5k experience so far in favor of Legion side. So things are going quite well for Excellent already. And we'll see what the Hellborn have to try to do to get back into this. Dampier's already thinning up his stacks. So he's starting to really take off here. 400 gold per minute. It was the Blood Hunters before 450. So. And I'm just seeing people watching the farm. In the meantime, Penguin's getting picked off there by the hook. So, nice combo there. I'm just really focused on the star. Anyway, meanwhile, in the middle lane, Torture can get jumped on. Gauntlet taking a silence, though, and we'll see Torture will actually survive now. Nox or Surfer are going to try to chase down this Master of Arms. Double damage and helping out a lot. That's going to be another kill. Ends up being a double tap for the Legion side, as they pick off both Gauntlet and Master of Arms. Lose nobody. 3 kills in only about a minute. Legion are now hunting the woods. And it looks like, in fact, they're going to group up middle and try to take out this middle tower. So, getting aggressive early on. They know they're in the lead. They know they have the gold advantage, and they're pressing that advantage, trying to take map control. Definitely the correct move. Hellborn are going to respond to this with force, because they sort of pack 2 Glyph goes down. This is only a 3v5 at this point. They don't see Devourer. Hook goes in there onto Stray Fighter. He's going to get jumped by a whole bunch, but the hook comes back off to the side, and Nox is going to try to survive. In the meantime, Madman will get picked off as the dust goes down. And Nox just barely is able to get out of there, so ends up being 1-for-0 and a tower kill in favor of the Legion. Looks like they might continue to push here. Gauntlet and Devourer will check each other out. Ultimate gets stopped immediately. Hook going to split the uprights there. Chain Reaction's also going to mess with Puppet Show. Does not actually jump in here from Dampier. Will finish off Torture, but they do get Gauntlet and Devourer. Puppet Strings go down here onto Damp, and he's going to get finished off pretty quick. Wow, a lot of damage coming out from that nuke from Ophelia. So, that's a 2-for-2, and we'll see if the Legion side continue to push here. They certainly can do so if they want. Obviously, Ophelia's push being one of the stronger contributions she brings to a lineup, and this secondary tower following very, very quickly. So this is going to be a tower kill. They might pay for it. Stray Fighter are not going to take the spin. Puppet Show gets down here on the Gauntlet, and he's dying super quickly. Master Arm's going to drop the stun and run away. All of a sudden, Puppet Strings go down onto Blitz, though, and he's in some trouble. Energizer gets popped, and we'll see if they continue to chase this. They're not going to, so they actually end up picking off a couple of hero kills, as well as the secondary mid tower. That's 4 towers down so far for the Legion. Looks like they're going to rotate into the woods, and eventually look to take that top tier 1 tower. So Excellent playing this basically perfectly. They're like, look, you know, we won the laning phase and we won it pretty damn hard. Now we're going to group up and we're going to not allow that Dampier to just free farm in the woods. We're going to press our advantage. We're going to take map control. We're going to take your woods because we know Dampier is a hero that needs the farm. You know, you need to get that 500, 600 gold per minute, and it's definitely a hero that can do that, but without it, Dampier is just not that good. So this continuous team fighting, this heavy pressure, forces him to fight, and it prevents him from being able to get the farm he needs. Meanwhile, the Hellborn side, just no gold, 150 GPM on Madman as their second highest farmer. Meanwhile, everybody on the Legion side is above that mark, so... Legion are well aware of the massive resource advantage they do have, and they're like, look, while we've got it, we're going to pressure these towers. Can't hope we're going down. They actually jump onto Torturers. Dampier tries to get, but there's the counter on the Dampier. They will in fact finish off Torturer despite the Ophelia heal, but Gauntlet now in a lot of trouble. He's going to be the next to fall. Everybody's running away from the Hellborn side. Now TP not going to be able to finish off from Master of Arms as he will die. Puppet Strings go off there, but there's the Dust of Revelation, and Madman is in some trouble. Reasonably fast though, so he might still be able to get away. Stock goes down. He still has the Dust on him, but he's quick enough to get away with that strong movement speed. The issue is, of course, that the Legion lost just the one hero, while the Hellborn lost 3, and now they can push out this top lane, especially because there's only Torture. So that's where we're at now. We're, you know, Dampier's jumping Torture and can't even finish him off on his own, thanks to the Ophelia heal. And in the pursuit of that, it's basically, oh, the entire team has died now.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
Nox going for Dawnbringer here, because he's Nox. It's a common joke. I think it's a really great item. I don't understand why he gets so much shit for it. It's just general. There's some heroes where it doesn't work that well on, but there are a lot where it's amazing. I think like Gemini and Bloodhunter is absolutely one of them, but there's a lot of heroes that really like that versatility of stats. Like, yeah, I want everything. I want magic. I want, you know, int. I want strength. I want agility. I want the mana regen. The slow's nice. Meanwhile, up top, Dampier gonna get jumped once again. Puppet Show goes down, as well as the Puppet, and that's gonna be a kill. Jump over here onto Gauntlet, and the ultimate from Master of Arms will not save him. Devour still rotting down, and Finds trying to live here, will do so. Madman finishes him off. Blitz dies as well. Shroods go down on Master, and that's the game.
Legion wins. Genocide.
I said strings. Strings to go down to Master. Anyway. Really strong performance there from Excellent. You know, beating a team that they're better than, I think, is a theme. But they did exactly what they should do. You know, they had a strong lineup, they had a strong laning phase, and they pressed that advantage early and often. So, well played to them. They will move on, and that'll be it here for the Hellborn side, and we'll see you next time.